Thank you. The title of this presentation is Using Ontology to Deploy Workflow. In this case, I will present an approach to clinical guideline execution because it was at the time the case study that we use and also because most of the person that collaborate with me in this project was at the time from the biomedical area. But I think we can also use this kind of work in different areas. So I will talking about how ontology can be used for the deployment of clinical practice guideline and provide decision support. I will start with an introduction about clinical decision support, where I will identify a set of issues detected in this area for which response is needed. The set of topics discussed in this part include the nature of the clinical decision-making, clinical practice guideline, and the computer-interpretable guidelines. The second part of this presentation is about ontology, mainly their proposed and desirable features for computer-interpretable guidelines representation. I will also talk about the specific ontology language which we use in this project, the well-known ontology web language, OWL. The third part of the presentation describes the development of the computer-interpretable guideline ontology and the representation of the crucial elements of the guidelines, mainly the administrative information defining workflow of procedure, clinical constraint, and temporal constraint. We also provide some assessment results. The fourth part of the presentation features the SIG operationalization of the from SIG acquisition and the execution system. It's also introduced a new concept, the guideline as a service. Finally, I will end the presentation with an assessment of what was done so far and point to future trends in this area. Clinical decision-making is the essence of the planning practice. In this regard, it is possible to distinguish two types of decision, diagnosis and management. Decision-making in this setting is a combination of analytical, well-structured strategy and intuitive strategy, depending on the time available for a decision, as you know. The more of the decision rely on medical evidence, such as clinical trials or scientific experiment, the more is the structure. This evidence-based maturity is provided by the clinical practice